I made 40 social content pieces in less than 10 minutes using Claude and Gamma, like this carousel or this infographic, and I did it without being an expert designer. 2 AI tools handle the strategy, the instructions, and the final design. And that's exactly what we'll cover in this video. I'm going to show you how to build this system from scratch, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's begin with the 3 things to build this up. The first one is in charge of the directions, Claude. Claude's great at writing, coming up with ideas, finding patterns, and giving instructions, but it can't generate images on its own. You could try to use Claude Design, but in most cases, that's going to be really time-consuming, expensive, and won't create the thing that you want. So Claude needs a partner to turn all of its instructions into something visual. And for that, we're going to use Gamma. Gamma can create presentations, documents, and most importantly, social posts from one prompt, which makes it the perfect partner for Claude. There's a link in the description if you want to follow along with me for free and see if you could beat me in the challenge. Now, when these 2 tools can communicate, they turn into a creative team, but they still need something else to create great social posts. And that's you. You're the one who knows your brand best. As a human, have a unique taste and human judgment. If Gamma doesn't know your brand, and Claude has never seen what good looks like for you, everything they will make together will look generic. So to start building the system, you first train Claude. Drag your brand guidelines or some of your branded posts into a custom project inside Claude. If you don't have any branded content, you can use posts from other brands. This will give it all the branding knowledge that it needs. For example, I'm going to attach this carousel to Claude and type, based on this carousel, create my brand guidelines with the color codes, typography, image styles, tone of writing, and anything else you need me to give you to create branded designs. This is great. It not only gives me the color palette and the typography, but also creates the brand's essence and illustration rules. Now I'll just copy this and add it to the project's knowledge. Now that it knows exactly what your branding looks like, you can start creating posts based on other posts that you like. Let's start a new chat, paste the carousel from before and type, my brand guidelines are on the knowledge of this project for the colors to use, and I attach the carousel I want to model. Give me one reusable prompt I can paste into Gamma to generate a carousel in this exact style on my brand and for any topic. It should tell Gamma the slide count, the slide-by-slide structure, the hook style, my colors and fonts, and the portrait format. Leave the topic and context as blanks that I fill in. It should replicate the feel of my example without copying them slide for slide. Then see what Claude comes up with. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this and open Gamma. We're going to click on Create New Gamma, select Graphic, and then default. Now I'm just going to paste this into the AI agent and fill it with some context about the topic that I want, which is 8 ways to make your pitch deck impossible to say no. Now let's run it and see what happens. Okay, for a first try this looks great, but there's still something that I want to change. The great thing is that I can just ask the agent for it. So first of all, the logo and the name of the brand. I'm going to attach the Gamma logo here and then just ask it to replace the current logo with the attached one that says Gamma for every card, and then also change the handle to Gamma. The results are great, and the fact that I don't have to select and wait for images to be changed makes this even better. Now instead of win the room, I want to change the text to 8 ways to make your pitch deck impossible to say no to, and then resize the text so it keeps looking good. Another thing I'll do is to ask it to change gamma.com to gamma.app on the last slide. Now let's say that I want to expand the text on this image. I'll tell it to expand on the topic with a specific example for a presentation app. It came up with this. I didn't have to paste more context or come up with an example. It just did it and the result was good. Now I want to show you another great feature of Gamma. If you want to test different brand colors, you can just add a new image with branding that you like. In this case, I'm going to upload this from Dan Martel. Now, just select the image you want to change, click on Restyle, select the new image, and then click Restyle Image. This will apply the branding of Dan Martel's image to the image that I selected, and then this is the result. To me, this looks great, and I didn't have to write instructions or figure out how to describe it. I just had to click on the images, and then Gamma did all the work for me. And in case you didn't like it, you could just click on the right arrow on the top right, and it'll change between versions. So you can always go back to the original and compare every change. Now we're going to do it in 10 minutes. This is a challenge now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the system. Now let's put it to the test. I'm going to create more than 40 posts in less than 10 minutes. Let's start the clock. I'm going to start with the carousels. The first one's already made, but now I'm going to open 2 Claude chats in the project and paste 2 carousels that I liked in each one. Then I'll use the same prompt we used to get the instructions for Gamma. The topics I'll go for will be digital products and what makes a good webinar. By the way, I just used the Opus model inside Claude. It'll take a little bit longer, but it's better analyzing things. Okay, so I've got the prompts. Now I just fill in the topics and the context for each one and let Gamma work. So this is the first one. I like how it looks and the visual metaphors added to each slide. I'm still going to change the second one because I don't like the red color. So I'm just going to click on it, select Restyle, and select the first slide. And now I'm going to ask the agent to change the handles on the first and last slide to Gamma. Okay, those were the only changes it needed. Now, the second one looks great and it's on brand, but I want to add my face into the cover slide. So I'm going to upload one of the photos, remove the background, then select the cover slide and ask the AI agent to use my portrait picture and paste it in the bottom center, covering 50% of the slide with it. And also to move the text up so my portrait slightly covers the bottom of the headline. So counting the first one I made, we have 3 posts so far. Now I'm going to create images for individual posts like infographics. And it's going to be the same process. I'm going to attach the images I want to model, use a slightly modified version of the prompt I used before to adapt it to the images. For this example, we'll use the same topic I used on the carousels. Okay, let's see how it goes. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. These look great and it even left placeholders for the logo and the handle. So I just have to tell it what to use for those and they'll be ready to post. That gives us 7 posts now, which is a week's worth of content. Okay, so now we have 7 social posts ready. And now we're going to repurpose them to create even more without having to use new prompts. I don't have to build anything new to get more content. I just resize what I already made to fit multiple formats. So for example, I could select this image on the second carousel, select resize, then select the one-to-one format, then the recompose feature, and click on recompose with AI. And as you can see, it looks great, as if I made it in this format from the start. So now I can do the same for each of these slides and export it as a PDF to upload them as a LinkedIn carousel. Doing that to our 3 carousels will give us 10 social posts in total. And if we do the same for our images, we have 14. Then I take any of the carousels and use the recompose feature with the 9:16 format, which is the vertical format for Instagram stories. Just with the second carousel, that will give us 9 more posts, 1 for each slide. And with all the other slides turned into stories, we have a final count now of 40 social posts in less than 10 minutes. With Claude as the person who analyzes and gives the instructions, Gamma as the designer, and you as the editor, this is easier than ever. So that's how you can create a week's worth of content for multiple platforms in less than 10 minutes, and maybe even a month's worth in a single day. But that's not everything you can do with Gamma. You can create complete presentations, documents, and also use the AI agent to improve your current social posts. I actually made a video showing you how to master Gamma. It's this one right here. So go watch it, and I'll see you in the next one.